Penny talked about name, image, and likeness, they asked him if it's fun, and he sort of smiled and said, I don't know if this is fun, but it just, I'm happy that the players are getting money now. They deserve it. But then he added, in some of these situations, the players are now making more money than my assistant coaches. And he says that, like, can you believe this? And, the podcast hosts are like, that's crazy. Why is it crazy? This is one of those things where it's been fascinating to watch this because we used to give players literally nothing other than a scholarship, and it wasn't too long ago. Now we think that when somebody gets $200,000 or $300,000 or $800,000, it's like, can you believe this? Like the idea, that was the thing that struck me. You had 3 basketball people talking to each other, 3 men who understand the sport and understand the money involved and understand everything about it. And they all 3 were like, that's crazy. A college basketball player making more than an assistant coach? That's wild. Like Penny framed it that way for the effect of it. Why is it crazy that a star college basketball player is making more money than an assistant basketball coach? Why is that crazy? It's presented as if it's bananas. I think it's the most normal thing in the world because think about any other sport. Because we more or less are calling college football and college basketball professional sports now. Everybody is operating with an understanding that it's $1 billion operations in some cases. There's lots and lots of money flying around, right? So this is more or less professional sports. Okay. Is it crazy that people who play for the Grizzlies make more than Grizzlies assistant coaches?
No.
Nobody, of course not. Is it crazy that, there are players on the Kansas City Chiefs who I guarantee you make more than the assistant coaches, not to mention the head coaches? Nobody thinks that's crazy. Nobody thinks it's crazy that Patrick Mahomes makes more money than the Chiefs offensive coordinator. So why is it crazy that college basketball players in some cases are now making more money than assistant coaches? You ready for this? They should be making more money than assistant coaches. They're more valuable than assistant coaches. I mean, all due respect to all assistant coaches everywhere, but I'd rather have an All-American point guard than whoever you think the best assistant coach in America is. Give me the All-American point guard. That guy's worth more money, right? He should be. So he should be compensated in that way. I just think we've still got this thing so backwards. Like there's a big settlement that's happening right now. You might have heard something about it. The NCAA is in the process of settling a big class action lawsuit that is going to result in billions of dollars in damages having to be paid out. Nearly $3 billion. That's the settlement. Billion with a B. Now, you might go, my God, that's a lot of money. But if they'd have gone to court and lost, and they probably would have lost if they'd gone to court, you know what that settlement probably looks like? Instead of $3 billion, $20 billion. So that's why they're in the process of settling. But part of this settlement is that going forward, power conference schools, so schools in the Power 4 conferences now, Big 10, SEC, Big 12, ACC, they will be allowed to directly pay their athletes up to $20 million a year. That's like the salary cap that is a part of this settlement, $20 million a year. And people are going, $20 million a year? That's crazy. They're going to be spending $20 million a year on players? You ready for this? It sounds crazy because it used to be nothing. You know where I'm at on it? I don't think it's enough. Why is $20 million enough? Who decided that? You know, in the NBA, players get 50% of basketball income. You know, it's 50. Like we made this amount of money. 50% of it's going to be put towards player salaries. That's how you get the salary cap. NFL, I think it's around 48%. So why is $20 million the number in college athletics?
That's a fair question.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Big Ten tax records were just published last week. They just, from their media rights deal, gave each school $60 million. Well, $20 million ain't 50% of that, right?
That's right.
Okay, and that doesn't even include, that's just $60 million right off the top. Doesn't even include ticket sales. You fill up these football stadiums, basketball arenas. Doesn't include that. Doesn't include merchandising, any of this stuff. So why is $20 million enough? It ain't even close to half. And in the NBA, it's half. NFL, it's roughly half. It's not even close to that here. So everybody's like, $20 million, that's crazy. How lucky are these players? I think they're still getting screwed. Think about this in any other professional sport. you're going to invest $20 million in all of your players. There are football coaches who make 10, 11, all right? In what sport? Imagine if the Kansas City Chiefs spent $20 million on their entire roster and $10 million on Andy Reid. That would be backwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what college athletics is going to be. You got college, you're going to have, in some cases on campuses, like 3 or 4 coaches making more money than all of the athletes. It's still not right. So all of this is new, that it's so new and so dramatically different than what we used to deal with that I think people still aren't properly processing the numbers, Penny Hardaway included. Like, I don't think it's crazy that David Jones is presumably going to make more money playing basketball at Memphis next season than all of the assistant coaches at Memphis. You ready for this? He should. He's worth more. The players are actually finally getting what it is people have determined they're worth, and the market should have them making more money than assistant coaches. It shouldn't be presented as like some hard-to-believe thing. It's the easiest thing in the world to believe. The only crazy thing is that it took us this long to get there.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m.